Hello everybody and welcome back to The Absolute Mom. Today I want to give you some decluttering tips and tricks to go along with my clutter-free February. If that is something that interests you, please stick around. Don't you know that you're beautiful, just the way you are, just the way you can. When I get ready to start a decluttering project, the first thing I do is make a list. I am so type A, it's not funny. I absolutely love lists. And so for decluttering and organization, this really helps me. So to start this project, I literally sat down and I listed out every single room that I wanted to tackle for decluttering and reorganizing. And really, that ended up being my whole entire house. So then I went back through the list and I prioritized which order I wanted to do that. And obviously the things that were top priority on the list are the areas that we use every single day as a family. So for my list, I ended up making it according to each room or according to each type of decluttering project. It really depended on what I was focusing on for that day. I had kitchen, dining room, living room, bathrooms, master bedroom, linen closet. I had all these things separated. But then every now and then, such as the kitchen and laundry room, I end up having cleaning supplies in the laundry room because I have a closet in there, but I also have cleaning supplies underneath my kitchen sink. So in my head, I put those two things together to be able to address at the same time. So in my life, I end up making lists for so many things. And that's because I either get decision fatigue, whereas lists such as menu planning end up making it that I have a list of food for the whole entire week, and to make a decision, I just have to go and look at the list, or I get overwhelmed with how big this project was going to be. So by making the list, it broke it down into smaller pieces, and every single time I completed something, I got to cross it off the list, and that made me feel very productive. And if I feel productive, my momentum gains and I'm just ready to keep going. And I feel like once you start decluttering and you start organizing stuff, it is addictive. You just want to keep going. So if I start a little project like doing my linen closet and it turns out beautiful and so functional, next thing I know, I'm looking around my house with different eyes and I'm like, okay, I could do a lot more in this bathroom and I could do a lot more in our family closet. So it gives you momentum and it keeps you going. The next thing I ended up doing with this project was I decided who was going to be involved with it. And this really depended on what area I was decluttering for that day. Most areas, mom just takes care of it all, and that is fine with me. I know what my family needs on a daily basis. I know what each person's preferences are. So I feel very confident either getting rid of something or keeping something because I know in the end what decision will make each person happy. But there's certain areas like the kids' rooms, I go in there and I do the majority of work. But in the end, I do ask them their advice for a few things. There might be a few toys that I thought, maybe they just didn't see it very often in the last 3 months and that's why they weren't playing with it. But now that I decluttered 20 other things, they might really want to play with it. So those are the toys I end up asking them if they want to keep, and I end up putting a timeline on that toy also. I end up telling them, I notice you haven't played with this toy for the last 3 months, but we will keep it. And if I don't see you play with it within the next month, then we'll go ahead and we'll donate it to another child that would really enjoy it. So after I decided who I wanted to be involved in this process, next I decided where am I going to send the items that I declutter? How are those going to get out of my house? So the first thing I try to end up determining is where am I going to store these decluttered items before they leave my house? For me, that was a really easy answer. So we have a formal dining room that we never ever use. And in fact, we have converted it into a dance room for my 3 girls to practice all their dances in. And so in the corner of that, I just decided that is where I would put all my decluttered items until I'm able to distribute them to the areas that I had chosen for them. So this has worked very good. And it motivates me and keeps my momentum going because I see that pile building up bigger and bigger, and that just really excites me. So then I had a couple decisions to make, and it was, where are all these items going to be going? So the first and obvious decision is a place such as a secondhand thrift store, such as Goodwill or Salvation Army. And so a lot of our items do go there, but then I have other items that may be brand new and just the kids never got to wear it or utilize it. Or when I go through the bathroom, maybe I bought in bulk bar soap and we're just not going to get through that. But all of them are individually wrapped and boxed and they're perfectly good. So a few other areas that we like to donate to is the Ronald McDonald House. So usually every single state has a Ronald McDonald House. I am personally a NICU nurse, but I'm also a NICU mama. And we did utilize the Ronald McDonald House for a few months while my twins were in the NICU. And I have to say, it's a lifesaver. None of these families choose to be in the NICU. And most of them don't even know that that's going to be happening. So they didn't get to pre-plan and pre-pack stuff that they would be needing for the next couple months of their lives. So being able to go into a closet and pick out some shampoo and soap and all the little necessary items or even food that you need is so helpful. So you can always donate to a Ronald McDonald House, but also the other area that you can donate to is domestic abuse shelters. So a lot of times these are a corporation or a volunteer service that you end up calling, and they will let you know where a drop-off place or a drop-off time is. And this can be so helpful for these families to get back on their feet because a lot of times they're leaving with nothing but the clothes that they are actually wearing. The other way we like to donate a few things, and this one's kind of more impromptu than actually doing a project, is when you see like on Facebook that a local family has had a house burned down or something tragic has happened and they literally have no belongings. It feels really, really great to be able to help them out and donate or even go and buy and give some stuff that they really, truly need. So always be on the lookout for that opportunity. And the other thing that you can end up doing with your belongings is you can store them for a garage sale if it's nice in your area, which I have done so many garage sales in the past, and I have to say, off of 1.5 days worth of work of sitting there selling stuff, usually we make at least $600, and then us as a family choose how we can, in a fun way, spend that money. Or the other way you could do it is sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace or on different apps that you can resell pretty new items on. Right, so after you make the decision of where you're going to store these donated items until you get rid of them and exactly where you're going to get rid of them, I highly encourage you to put a timeline on this. Give yourselves only 7 days after you have done the project to get it out of your house. And this is definitely something I need to work on. I find a lot of times if I actually don't store the stuff in my house and I take it directly out to my vehicle, then I am way better at getting rid of this stuff in a timely manner. So then when I go to my area that I am going to be doing the project in for that day, one thing that I definitely do 100% of the time is I make sure I have a huge garbage can ready for any of my trash to go. I make sure that I either have boxes or bags to be able to place my donate items in. And then I have laundry baskets that I store either my keep items or my sell items in. And that way, stuff is already packaged up for the trash. It's already packaged up for the donation center. And I know that I can just carry that laundry basket into whatever room that those keep items belong to. I find a little extra tip. You need to come up with a strategy of how you're storing seasonal items and how you're storing sentimental items, because I feel like those two items are big things that take up a lot of storage space, but yet nobody really knows exactly where to place them. Do you put them in your bedroom closet? Do you put them under your bed? Do they go in your dresser? I feel like people, for sentimental for sure, are a little washy on exactly where they belong. All right, so then you go in a room and you want to start evaluating how much of one item do I truly need. So to be able to do this, I find the best way is one of two ways, and it really depends on how much time you truly have to devote to this project. So if you only have 15 minutes, you're going to set a timer and you are going to just do a speed round. You are not really going to be touching and pulling stuff out and reorganizing it. You're literally looking through stuff really fast to see the obvious things that you can donate or put in the trash, get rid of very easily. If you have an hour, you might have a little bit more time to say that I'm focusing on this dresser right now, and then I'm focusing on our end tables, and then I'm focusing on my entertainment center, and break it down into smaller, doable chunks. But I really motivate you to actually set a timer because it's so much fun to actually beat the timer done and think, oh my gosh, I have more free time to get more stuff done. It will actually really amaze you at how fast you could get projects done when you are just so hyper focused on it. The second way is the way that I really enjoy doing these big projects, because otherwise I feel like I just make little messes and I never get to see the whole end result. Because if you have kids or a family, you know things don't stay clean and organized for very long. So the way I end up doing it is I think, how much time do I truly need to actually complete this whole entire project? So when I did my kitchen declutter, clean, and organize with me, I literally set aside 2 full days for that project because I knew that was very realistic to be able to do it. I knew I was going to stop for breakfast, lunch, dinner, taking dance trips, doing any different errands that we needed to do to homeschool the kids. So I set aside those 2 days, and luckily it only took a day and a half, but that way I wasn't overwhelmed when at the end of the first day, it wasn't completed in full. Right, so I had the right amount of time set aside. Then the next thing I do, I make sure all the countertops or the bed area, whatever room I'm in, that I have a big flat surface open and available for me to pull everything out of whatever area I'm working in. So in the kitchen, I did end up breaking it down to a little bit smaller projects, such as I'm pulling all the cups or the serving dishes out at one time. Then I'm pulling all the pots and pans out at one time, all the plates and bowls out at one time, and then all the utensils out at one time. And this way I can see really how many cups a family of 6 actually has versus how many we actually truly need. If you watch that video, you know I was so surprised at how many cups we truly owned as a family of 6, but seeing all of them truly out of the cupboards really woke me up to how much space this was really taking up in our lives. So I got rid of so many, it wasn't funny, and I'm so happy I went through it. And to be honest with you, since that video, I have gotten rid of so much more in our kitchen also, because it just really wakes you up of the amount of items that you truly fit into your house. So after I pull that category of items, everything out of the cupboards, then I decide I'm going to put them back in and reorganize just that area first. Then I move on to the next thing, reorganize that area. So such as Tupperware. We all know we have tons of Tupperware. I literally go through it every couple of months to make sure I have the bottom and the lid to every single one. They're not cracked or stained. Making sure basically that they're definitely something I want to hold on to. And then this time I assign my Tupperware to a small cabinet because I know if I have more than what fits in that cabinet, then I already have too much automatically and I need to declutter more. Same with the cups. I started with the equivalent of 3 cabinets full of cups. Yeah, I did say 3 cabinets full of cups, and I got it down to just 1 corner cabinet, and that felt so great, and it has stayed so organized because we're not constantly moving cups around to get out the one that we're looking for. So a lot of times you might ask yourself, how do I know if I have too much of something? Or how do I know how many to get rid of and how many to keep? So some of these things are really, really simple. If it's broken, torn, stained, outdated, you never ever reach for it for over 6 months, and it's not seasonal, it doesn't fit anymore, all these are very obvious reasons to get rid of. And I feel like a lot of us just keep them in our closet or keep them in our cabinets or drawers because it's out of sight, out of mind. So you could see back here, my kids have a lot of clothes. This is for 4 kids, so it is a big closet. But I also know just by walking in here, I see this shirt specifically that I know is too small for my 6-year-old. So the question is, will my 4-year-old still wear this winter, or is it something that I can already pack away for her to wear for next winter? Or I know that I ended up seeing, let me find it here, right here. I know I ended up seeing this sweater for my 4-year-old. I know it has a spaghetti sauce stain on it, and so we just don't reach for it as much, and I've tried to get that stain out a couple of times and it hasn't worked. So why do I keep putting it back in the closet? Why don't I just grab it out and throw it into my donate pile automatically? Another area that I feel like is out of sight, out of mind is your bathroom. So I know I used to be on the subscription for Ipsy, and I every single month would get 5 products. So sometimes they were full size, sometimes they were trial size, but there are so many in there that just don't match my skin tone, or I just won't use. Like, I won't use blue eyeliner. I won't use blue eyeshadow. Like, I know a few of these things, but at the same time, why didn't I get rid of it right away? The other thing that I feel like is really easy to end up getting rid of is makeup. It expires, ladies. We need to go through it and we need to get rid of it. I'm pretty sure they say you should replace your mascara like every 3 months. And I have to say, I don't know a single woman that actually does that. But then actually ask yourself, how long have I had this specific makeup for, and is it expired? Some of them actually have an expiration date on them, and other ones you just kind of need to be mindful about how long you've been utilizing it. I also feel like some people end up trialing some things, like maybe a new lotion, and maybe it's too watery or too oily, or you don't like the scent of it, but then for some reason you don't get rid of it. You end up storing it in your cabinet or end up storing it in your closet. Let's just get rid of it right away. So let's start implementing some of these strategies to help the clutter stay down. I know another area that a lot of people struggle with is mail and making that paper clutter all over your house. So the way we end up dealing with this is literally as soon as we bring the mail into the house, we go directly to the kitchen and we go through it instantly. I look through it, I throw all the trash away, I address anything that needs addressing, and if there is something such as a bill that needs paid or a form that needs returned, I set it in one specific spot on the counter so that I know that I will get it done within the next 24 hours. That way it's off my plate, I don't have to worry about it, and once it's complete, I can throw it away. Another area that we do personally struggle with, and I'm trying to come up with multiple strategies for this, is flat surfaces. So our countertops in our kitchen, we are so good at just putting stuff on it all the time, and it just drives me nuts. Anything with a flat surface, I feel like my family will place items on. So what have I been doing in this last year to help us battle this? I put more decorations out. So to me, if something looks pretty and is nice and decorated, I'm less apt to actually clutter it up. Let's take my dresser in my bedroom, for instance. I love these decorations. I think they're nice and simple. And so I don't want to put even papers or clothes or anything on top of this dresser very much, because I want to be able to see my pretty decorations and bring me joy instead. So then when I have that process completely done, I have my list of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, where I'm going to get rid of stuff, my timeline to get rid of stuff. And I also want to know if I'm going to sell stuff, I need to give myself a timeline for that also. Maybe if it doesn't sell within the first week, I'm going to donate it instead. Or if it's a bigger ticket item, maybe I will give it 2 weeks, but you need to put a deadline on it so that it doesn't just end up back in the area that it was cluttering up first. All right, a few things I want to remind you guys of. Make sure everything has an assigned place. So if you know exactly where your coat and shoes are going to go every single time you get home, you will put them there. If you have a specific place that your keys go, you will put it there. Your mail, your clothes, all this kind of stuff. If you have systems in place, it's going to work and it's going to stay organized. The other thing I also want to remind you about is it definitely gets worse before it gets better. So decluttering, when you pull everything out of one certain area to be able to reorganize, it is going to look like a bomb went off in your house, and it can get overwhelming. But step back, take a deep breath, take it one section at a time, complete that, and then move on. And in the end, it will feel so great. All right, so less stuff equals less stress. If you have places to actually put stuff away, your mental health will be so much better and you can enjoy your family time stress-free. If you enjoyed these tips and tricks and you find them helpful, please like this video. Also make sure you're subscribed because I have a few more decluttering videos coming at you, and then we are going straight into spring cleaning. All right, see y'all next time.